Okay, so this is the last board that I need to repair, the last Atari BreakOut board. And it does have some problems. This is what it's doing before I have done anything to it. I've got a good picture. Now, the crystal here is a 15 megahertz, and the exact frequency should be 14.4138. So I bought some of those. I need to replace that. All that's going to do is make this fit further into the screen, into the width of it will fit better onto the screen. So we got some gaps here that should tighten up some when I replace that crystal. Not a whole lot. Technically, I don't even need to replace it, but I'm going to. So the game, you can credit the game, you can coin it up, and 1 and 2 player buttons seem to work. So when I push one player button after I give it a coin, I've got the paddle. Paddle looks like it's going to be working okay. Score looks good. It reset the bricks. It won't serve the ball. So I'm hitting the serve button, and it's not releasing the ball. Also, if I turn the power on to the audio, you get a constant buzz. So I need to figure out that as well. I will start with the ball serving, see if I can figure out what's wrong with there, and then I will be back. Okay, so I did some probing around, and here's where the serve button is. So when I push the serve button, this pull up gets pulled to ground, okay, because there's a ground right there. This signal goes low. This set signal doesn't really do anything because this is already in a set condition for some reason. I don't know if that's right or not, but I do see the signal propagating through here to this signal SBD bar. I did some checking around to make sure that when I coin up and I push the start button, that the game goes into a track mode. So that's done with this flip-flop here. I coin up, I push start. This does go into play mode. In other words, not a track mode. When this is high and that one's low, you're in a track mode. And so when you push start, that inverts. This becomes high and that becomes low. I did confirm that that's correct. So I started focusing on the timing of the setting of this flip-flop here. Okay, this needs to trigger in order to get the ball to launch. It needs a serve wait signal, and that isn't happening. So I started focusing on this flip-flop, which is what generates generates or is the output of this is the serve wait signal. And so I started probing backwards. Well, first I came up here and I looked and I saw that this was always high, so it's not being set. It's not going into set mode. And so I went this way then, and I saw that pin 11 is floating. So that makes me suspect this B3 is bad, which is a NOR gate. So because that's floating, the fact that it's floating tells me I need to replace that, just because it should never be in a floating state. So that's as far as I got. Once I found that, I said, you know what, I got to stop because it's late. It's 11:30 on a work night, and I need to get clean up and go to bed. But so when I return, I'm going to put a circle around this. That's what I'm going to be replacing, B3. And then I will continue this video at that time. I'm back for the second night of this repair. Last night I got really tired, so I sounded kind of strange when I closed up. Tonight I'm still tired, but it's earlier in the night at least. So B3 was what my note said to replace, 7402. I socketed, installed a new one. Here's the old one. And it does work now. So if I hit serve, it serves it. Now, I don't know if it's perfect, but so far the gameplay is looking good. Sound's still not right. I got to fix it. That'll be one of the next things. But it should be a slight delay when I push the button, but let's see. Yes. Oh, that was a little freak out there, wasn't it? Oh, that's weird. All right, so there's more problems coming. But the serve problem is fixed, and it also had a slight delay when I pushed the button, so that's perfect. It's like a little random amount of time, because sometimes you push the button and it happens immediately. Gameplay and scoring look good so far. I'll finish this ball. I think it's on 3 balls. Can't tell. Okay, ball sped up. That's normal operations. Oh, okay, 4 balls is what it's, or 5 balls. That's what the game is set to. 25 points. So all the hit detections are working. Paddle hit detection, wall hit detection, and block detection. Everything's perfect for the in regard to that. With respect to that. Okay, so everything's looking real good as far as general gameplay. We did get a couple of little freakouts to figure that out. Could also be it's sitting on a wire or something. Maybe my work spot isn't clean. But I don't think that's the case. I think we actually have a problem. Okay, well, let me focus on the sound problem next, and maybe that'll fix the glitchy problem. So here's the main audio amplifier for the audio there, and when I give it power, we got a constant buzz. So we have volume control right here, and we've got different digital signals coming in that is being mixed here. Okay, and they're being mixed through a resistor network. Well, when I probed, there was no signal here. There was no signal here. There was a signal here though. Okay, so pin 5 is active, pin 4 was not active. It was low, I believe. I'm sorry, it was high. So this VB hit sound is what's causing the sound. And I traced the VB hit sound over to right here. So let me turn that noise off, man. All right, so the VB hit sound is here. And so that prompted me to start checking the outputs on these 4 counters. One of them has a bad output. It's toggling, which you would think means it's good, but no, I don't think so. I think the counter is malfunctioning. So the counters were on C7 and B7. So B7. Look at the scope. That output looks good. That output looks good. That one 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 does not look good. That looks weird to me. And that one is a result of the previous one. So I'm going to replace this chip. This one's at C7. I don't like the way that's bouncing around. It should be a cleaner signal than that, I think. Well, we'll find out. I'll replace it and I'll be back. Okay, so I removed the chip that I think is bad. A counter, it's a 74161. And I just wanted to comment. When I removed it, it had a lot of burnt looking, like a burnt color there. That is an indication to me that the chip probably is bad. It at least needs to be replaced. Because that means it's been getting hot under there or something. That's not dust, that's like a burn. So I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to put a socket in and replace that chip. All right, so I've replaced that chip, and the output still looks bad to me. So I guess it's okay. Yeah, that looks weird, but I guess that's just the way it is. I mean, 2 different chips give me the same result. But that didn't fix the problem anyway. The sound still is there. All right, I'll keep looking. All right, so it just occurred to me. This is supposed to pulse all the time, and this signal here is supposed to be like an enable. Well, the thing is enabled all the time, so that's why the signal is getting through. So there's something wrong with this circuit here. And I've ohmed out the resistors. There's a couple resistors, and there's also a couple capacitors. Ohmed everything out in that area. It's basically right here, this chip right here. And then there's capacitors and resistors associated with it. Ohmed all those out, and this seems okay. So I'm gonna yank that chip. Now this is a 9602. These used to be a dime a dozen, but they've gotten expensive because they haven't been made in years. And I don't know if I have one, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull it and put a socket in. Okay, so I didn't have another one of these, or at least I haven't found one yet. So what I did was I unsoldered A7 and A8 both, and I swapped them, okay, to confirm that this chip is bad. And A7 is bad in the A8 position. So actually up here, I'm, on this pin now is where I'm seeing the signal, and the sound is going to be a little bit different. So the sound is slightly different because it's being generated for a BP hit instead of a VB hit. So yeah, I've got to find one of these 9602s. That's what the problem is. I think that's going to be it for this video, because there's not really much I can do until I get the chip. And then it's just going to be, you know, they're both socket now. It's just a matter of, let's see, this is the bad one now. So I'll pull it and put the new one in. Thanks for watching.